Hi everybody, welcome back to Dave's Garage 249. Today I've got some wheels for the wheelie bars. We're going to work on the wheelie bar project. I've got some axles to make out of some bolts, and we're going to do some lathe work and modify those bolts into axles that we can probably grease without paying big money and go into the parts store. And we'll do this at home in my own little shop garage, and I'll show you how it's done. So let's go. Thanks for watching. Okay, fellows and fellettes, this is what we have. I ordered these wheelie bar wheels. They were about $30 a piece. I think they're Competition Engineering. And I have a 3/8/16 shoulder bolt. It's 3 inches long, and that gives me enough shoulder there to where that I have an axle on the shoulder. So you do not want the threads in any of this. So the length comes out to where that the threads are just on the other side. I'm going to have a small stainless steel washer on both sides to kind of bear up and keep from leaving bolt head imprints. So the next step is to cut this bolt to length. We want 2 threads sticking out of this self-locker, and you will not have to clamp this self-locker down super tight, but there is a shoulder on the axle on each side to where that it kind of can if you want to, but there's no need to do that. So that's the first step, is let's get this bolt length cut off correctly. Okay, so we're just going to use simple hacksaw, and I put a nut on the threads. This supports the part in the vise both sides, plus when I take the nut off, that'll kind of chase burrs off the threads. We want to try to hacksaw kind of square, but we're going to touch it up on the lathe. Also, the width of the nut, I got 2 threads here. I'll probably cut maybe 1 or 2 threads, and then that way I can square it up if I need to. And the goal is to wind up with just a couple threads. Of course, it isn't going to have to be machinist precise. We just don't want a lot of extra threads sticking off the end of the bolt as an axle. So let's get moving here with a hacksaw. Okay, as you can see, I've completed the hacksaw operation. You can see that I cut them fairly square with a hacksaw. So now I'll just go over to the belt sander and cut a little chamfer, clean up the ends, and then I can run those nuts back off and we're done. Okay, so we'll just clean up the burrs off the end. There you have it. There you go. That's all there is to it. So there you have, the bolts are cut. Use the nuts for mock-up, and technically when you put a self-locking nut on, they're kind of a one-use thing. That's what they're supposed to be. Once you take them off, you should replace them with a brand new one, because you've already run some thread into that nylon area. Here, let me get this so I can show you, into that nylon area. So they're kind of technically not reusable, but you can see though that I'll put this up here. You can see that the nylon part adds another 2 threads, and you want to ensure that you have full threads inside that nylon lock. So when this is assembled finally, there will be about 2 threads sticking out the end. Now, examining these casters, I was talking about you can drill and tap into the head and put grease zerks in and drill a hole down through the center of the shaft and maybe a cross drill hole so you could grease these things. But I noticed that the bearings on these competition engineering wheels are already permanently greased, so that's not going to be necessary. So what I'm going to do is, just to make an interesting little lathe project, is chuck this thing up, clean the head up a little bit, and thin it down, and maybe drill a lightning hole like a trick that the old school racers used to use to lighten up nuts and bolts. That'll be just kind of something fun to do. So that's what we'll do. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to give you an unobstructed view because I just don't have all the 2,000 million different camera stands that I need. So what I'm going to do is face this bolt off, and that'll give me a good clean surface to center drill and start hollowing out this bolt. And I will turn this machine on. And here we go. Carriage lock is on. They don't really have an official carriage lock on these things. What they have is they have the way guide there. You just kind of lock it down on the back side. It's not very handy to get to. Speed her up a little bit. Do the finish pass. And I will show you what we accomplished here. So we're faced off. Probably could do a little bit more. I may do that, and just for the sake of maybe lightweight. But you want to leave enough of a head there so you can get a wrench flat on there and not have it, fall off all the time. So, anyways, so that's the first step. Okay, after we're done facing this part, we need to center drill. There we go. Okay, we're doing a center drill operation. We'll go in and this guides the drill, the next drill in to the center, and gets the hole started on your face without too much wobble. And being that I went oversized, when we're done, I should have a nice chamfer. See if my camera will focus on. There we go. There, almost had it. There it is. So, next thing will be drill it out. Okay, we're going with just over a 1/4 inch drill. It's like a 260. They're tightened up in there. Right now, because of there isn't a lot of stroke on this quill on this tailstock, we're going to have to just loosen her up, move her in a little bit more, lock her down. Keep going. So the rule of thumb with drills is that typically, this is if you want to hold the tolerance, you don't want to go much more than 3 times the diameter of the drill deep. In this case, we're not really holding a tolerance, so we can go pretty far in there without too much trouble. But if you want an accurate hole, you use something called a gun drill, which sometimes they look like a half drill. Sometimes they'll have a long fluted stem on them and a carbide insert. That's the drilling cutter. So, but in this case, we only want to go maybe let's see how deep we are. We're only about 1 inch deep. So I'll keep drilling and then I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. All right, I'll give you a look at the finished part. There's been a significant amount of weight reduction in the bolt. And now we'll go put it together and give it final assembly, and I'll show you a picture, and then all I've got to do is do the second one the same way. No problem. So there we have it. There's a bolt that has been turned into an axle for a wheelie bar. I have my self locker on. I've got 2 full threads sticking out the end, so I know that that nylock is locked and we don't have a lot of wasted threads sticking out. Excuse me. And I got kind of a cool looking head on it. It looks kind of racy, and it's a little bit lighter, which helps. Now these wheelie bars, we're going to refinish the whole thing before we're done, but in the meantime we've got to get the parts assembled and stuff before we do all that anyway. So anyways, that's today's little project. We're having kind of a snowstorm out here in oh boy, look at there. That's that real wet, heavy, packy stuff, and I just drove in it, and when you put on the brakes, it just turns to ice and off you go sliding. So you gotta gingerly put on the brakes and sneak up on intersections to drive in this stuff. And I also had to use my 4-wheel drive, but that's why we got it. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm working on format and continuously trying to improve the videos, and hopefully you can see how you don't need to have a master machinist at your disposal, and you can do kind of nice things in your own shop with not very expensive tools. Just takes a little time and effort. So thanks for watching. Got more coming.